Hello everyone. So the topic that I'll be covering is obesity, overweight during pregnancy and its effect on the offspring. The information in this video is for informational purpose only and was produced for a class project. The creator is not a medical professional. The student, facility, and university do not guarantee the accuracy nor reliability of the content, nor should it be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have a question about a possible medical condition, please contact your physician or qualified health provider. Never delay the seeking treatment nor disregard the advice of a medical professional due to information you received in this video. So let's go ahead and start. The risk of obesity has increased in America, creating worldwide health diseases, which can be preventable in many ways. During a pregnancy, there are many things in which the offspring inherits from the mother, whether it's beneficial or not. Health providers recommend many lifestyle changes during the mother's pregnancy in order to have a successful birth and newborn. But if during that time the mother does not allow certain recommendations, this could lead to many complications for the offspring, not only during birth stage, but throughout adulthood. The risk of a child inheriting diabetes, obesity, or other diseases could be traced back to the mother's health during pregnancy. So, to start off with, let's talk about the lifestyle of the mother. This is a tracker of how the newborn will have a healthy or non-healthy lifestyle, leading to the probability of inheriting certain diseases. So what's the point here? The point is that eating habits are one of the most important factors of the lifestyle of the mother. There are 9 goals mentioned by WebMD.com in regards to healthy eating when pregnant. Number 1, eating foods to get all the nutrients. That is eating bread, grains, fruit, vegetables, dairy products, and protein sources. Any healthy foods. Number 2, foods with high fiber. Number 3, vitamins and minerals. For example, prenatal vitamins. Number 4, eating or drinking dairy products and calcium-rich products. Number 5, iron-rich foods like lean meats and beans. Number 6, 220 micrograms of iodine, which was interesting to know that this ensures babies' brains and nervous system development. Number 7, vitamin C. Number 8, good source of foliate like dark green leafy vegetables. And number 9, vitamin A. So, poor eating habits create a behavior for babies where they expect the world not to have enough food when they come into the world. So what does this mean? The offspring is not receiving the necessary nutrients during pregnancy of the mother. And this in the long run will result in difficulty for the mother breastfeeding if she has poor eating habits. I've seen many cases of women like this. Now, to continue, not only is there a higher risk of health diseases, but as Lian Kong in the 2017 study regarding risk of offspring's psychiatric disorder in the setting of a maternal obesity and diabetes. So what does the study say? The study shows that pre-gestational insulin-treated diabetes and severe obesity was associated with greater risk for a wide variety of children's psychiatric and mild neural development disorders than either obesity or diabetes alone. So a poor lifestyle leads to consequences and complications for the offspring development. Not only does it lead them to diseases, but also it backtracks on their development. So what about the condition before pregnancy? That means a BMI versus a obesity woman or a physically active woman. So if the mother is obese, there's a higher risk of their offspring becoming obese as well. A study in 2017 by Berg and other contributing authors mentioned that pre-pregnancy, prenatal BMI differentially impacts offspring's overweight obese across the life course. For every unit increase in prenatal and maternal BMI equals offspring's BMI to increase on an average between 0.15% and 0.24% throughout their stages of life. On the other hand, when the mother is physically active throughout her pregnancy, the risks are slim. So, to continue with, let's talk about the changes in risk during childhood and adolescence life stages. How does this affect the risk of obesity in the offspring? So firstly, there will be a difficulty for the child to develop a healthy lifestyle or eating habits, as the picture on the right shows. a kid deciding between fruits or sweet. So they're in need of processed or high-fat foods if they have a poor eating habit. These is due sometimes to their living conditions or incomes of their parents, and they're likely to eat any healthy food due to cost or access to healthy foods as well, which is an issue and it's concerning. In result, this was cause for the risk of obesity to increase if the mother was in the same situation during pre-pregnancy or pregnancy. As for newborn and during the early stages, as mentioned before, the child will not be obtaining enough nutrients from the breast milk of the mother, which also leads to the mother giving baby formula milk and not breast milk, which we know that breast milk has more nutrients than formula milk. So what about the diseases? So the risk of a type 2 diabetes increases, which can be passed on into adulthood. In a 2015 by Johnson and other contributing authors show that their study the association between high birth weight and the risk of a type 2 diabetes and obesity. Their study concluded that a high birth weight, particularly very high, increases the risk of type 2 diabetes in male young adults, and the risk of obesity increases with birth weight in both genders, which is concerning. So, in a UK study published in the EuroCalAlert.org mentions 2% risk between an obese and an overweight mother. It is interesting to know that there's a difference between an obese and an overweight mother. So in an obese mother, there's 3.5 times higher risk for the child to inherit type 2 diabetes. On the other hand, if the mother is overweight during pregnancy, the increased risk of type 2 diabetes of the child is 40%. So the National Institution of Health published an article in 2018 on their site that shows the relationship of elevated blood glucose between the mother and the child that followed them 10 to 14 years after birth. So what this article says, among women with elevated blood glucose during pregnancy, nearly 11% had type 2 diabetes and 42 had pre-diabetes. And also, the women who did not have elevated blood glucose during pregnancy, about 2% had type 2 diabetes and 18% have pre-diabetes. So the numbers here change a lot. One is higher and the other one isn't. So, finally, how does adulthood of the offspring is affected during this time? An overall healthy lifestyle before pregnancy is strongly associated with the low risk of offspring obesity in childhood, adolescence, and early adulthood. This was according to a journal published in 2018 by Chloe, Diane, and other contributing authors. Diabetes can differ between genders and race, and this we have seen it in many occasions. According to the American Diabetes Association, your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, and stroke goes up. There's nothing you can do about it when you're getting older, but you can take steps to eating healthy, staying active, and manage your weight. So in regards to race, African Americans, Mexican Americans, American Indians, Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, and Asian Americans have a higher risk for these deadly diseases. This is partly because these populations are more likely to be overweight, have high blood pressure, and have type 2 diabetes. And yet, we go back to the idea of the income, of the living conditions of these races and families. So males had a significant change, whereas females did not show much of a change. This was proven in a study titled Offspring Risk of Obesity in Childhood, Adolescence, and Adulthood in Relation to Gestational Diabetes Mellitus, published in 2017 by Shanahan and other contributing authors. In the study, 7,946 female offspring participants, 988 became obese, and 7,063 male offsprings, 1,047 became obese. So what does this say? This says that male participants who were born to a GDM pregnancy had a higher BMI, whereas the BMI for female did not differ by matter in the GDM status. So, this was also shown in another study in 2019 by Lahin, Fulkin, and other authors. Their studies showed that among those 118,201 mothers and other offsprings 24.8 were overweight, and 9.5 were obese. So to conclude, more males were diagnosed with diabetes, and this was compared to the females across all BMI categories. So let's finish off. If the offspring is obese at a young age, the probability to stay obese is likely to remain the same. And this was also published in a 2018 article by Susan Weir-Hirsch-Buehler. Obesity during childhood and adolescence has emerged to be a global health burden. Many obese adolescents stay obese until adulthood, which leads to markedly increased morbidity and mortality later in life. So what does this say? When your body weight increases, insecurities come as well. So that's talking about lifestyle traits. They develop other health diseases which are genetic, like, as we mentioned, type 2 diabetes. So let's conclude all this. The probability of the offspring to inherit the bad stuff of their mother can increase with time. During the time, the mother should be aware that what they consume will affect the offspring in the long run. There are many ways a mother can develop and maintain a healthy lifestyle. Parents are responsible for creating a healthy generation and avoiding producing a fresh generation that will not live longer than their parents. Overall, the mother's well-being is important during this time and should be considered in all aspects to maintain a healthy lifestyle habit. In order to reduce the risk factors leading to diabetes and obesity, the mother should be active, eat healthy foods that are nutritious for her and for her offspring. I hope you all enjoyed and have a great day. Here are my sources that I use. Those are listed scholarly and other which are non-scholarly. Bye guys.